Thank you for joining me for our transformation interview.
Yeah,
We got just a few questions for you, like
sure.
20 questions of the game. But first off, for the camera, what is your name
Rita Wakim.
and how old are you, Rita?
I am 34. I always have to think about it now. Yeah, 34.
Wait, about your ID.
Pretty sure I'm
And
34. Yeah.
we'll go with 34. What's your occupation? What do you do for work?
I am a teacher.
You're sure. How long have you been a teacher?
About 11 years now.
Okay. Now let's get into some of the fitness things.
Yep.
Before you joined, what was your
hmm
fitness experience like before you joined the challenge?
I had joined a similar style of exercise, like fitness gym prior to joining you guys, but that was also prior to two maternity leaves. So it
Mhm.
had been several years since I had participated in an exercise like regime the same way as the way that it's set up with you guys.
Okay. Now, in terms of nutrition and that, what kind of diets have you tried in the past that didn't work for you?
Um, Diet wise, I mean, I think I've always been one of those uh, wishy-washy people in terms of diet, and
Mm-hmm.
I could always say that I was going to eat healthy and this and that, and it would go short term. I think the most success I ever had with a diet was actually going keto once with my husband, and that actually did make us both feel way better. But that was also back in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, inconsistent with diet in general.
Okay. So accountability probably went a long way.
Oh yeah, yeah,
All right.
definitely.
Do you remember what your weight was before you joined?
I was over 200 for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you remember what your body fat percent was?
No, I don't remember. I'd have to go and check what all the stats were that I had inputted.
Okay, I can pull them up for you. It looks like your starting body fat percentage was at 46%. How did your clothes fit at the
Um,
beginning of the challenge?
I only wore stretchy clothes. I didn't go back to any clothes that required buttons for the most part.
Okay,
Yeah.
I feel like you got a button up blazer thing going on right now.
Oh yeah, just work clothes.
And what were your energy or strength levels like?
I could see that I would probably say lower to what I would just normally used to. Um, and I know it has a lot to do with change in, my lifestyle now. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I could also see like even during maternity leave, trying to go for walks with a stroller, I could easily be tired by the end of the day just for a walk to the grocery store and back. So, um, and my body was in pain on simple things that to me should not have given me pain.
Okay, like what?
So a walk has never been an issue for me before. I could easily go on a hike, even if there was a little bit of a difficulty. Going on a basic hike or going on a walk, pushing a stroller would have never given me any kind of discomfort or soreness afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And I started noticing that I would be a little bit more out of breath than normal. My body would be aching in places that it, never would have, where I actually felt soreness from my muscles just on a basic walk, which usually would have been the only way I could feel that way is if I had actually gone to like a gym session and done weights
Mm.
or something, or had been playing volleyball for quite a while and felt it in my legs. Like those used to be the only times I would actually feel that. And I was starting to feel like I was getting that kind of fatigue even on simple tasks.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, hard question here. How did your previous fitness and health make you feel emotionally?
Um, I think that coupled with the fact of COVID and isolation and also feeling like the hormone changes in maternity, like going through postpartum, all of it together was basically what triggered me to be like, you know what? Yes, I've got to go and do something about it because my energy level was down. And by me having the energy level down, it also affected my mood in general. So I had a conversation with my husband about it, and we're like, you know what? This is something that I wanted to divert some of my time and energy towards because it would have actually impacted, the rest of my daily routines, basically. It actually changed the mood that I'd be in.
So now let's look into, I guess, 6 weeks after the challenge, or well, now that the challenge has been completed and then moving into it. Um, how much weight did you lose?
Mm, I don't remember. I feel like I lost. I don't remember it. I don't remember it being a big number, to be honest, but I did feel and look way better. So it was more the body fat percentage that dropped and not the
Mm-hmm.
actual weight itself. And I can attribute like I felt like it was more muscle building than anything else that I was getting out of that. And I had
Mm-hmm.
said from the get-go, even when I had my uh my initial meeting about the challenge, that I was never looking for like fitting into clothes or actually like looking tinier than before. It was more about just my energy level, and my energy level did change after that. So
Okay.
yeah.
For reference, you lost 10 pounds and 6% fat, which is amazing work, by the way.
Oh, awesome. It's funny how
So,
you already forget, even though it wasn't that long ago.
yeah, you know what? Time's funny that way.
Yeah.
What's your energy level like now?
It's actually pretty good. I have to say that even since the challenge ended and me having gone back to work, it's been a little bit hard to maintain. Like I've definitely missed sessions already. So I feel like every time I go back, it's like me starting over again, which this is the next part that I need to work on incorporating it better into my daily routines.
Mm-hmm.
So my energy level is better. I'm feeling I find that when I actually can get the 2 sessions in a week, my energy levels stay good, and even my mood itself, my approach to how I am at work sometimes is already also like improved. But unfortunately, with commitments here, I don't always make it. So yeah,
Definitely checks out. It sounds like there's a lot of people in that boat.
yeah.
Um, Speaking of clothes, have you noticed any changes in how they fit?
In which one? In what fits?
In your clothing, have you
Oh, in
noticed any
clothes.
changes in how they fit?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, there are shirts that I probably never would have worn. Most of my work gear, to be honest, I probably never, especially like dress shirts like this that were more, floral, whatever. There was a lot that were a little bit too tight that I would feel uncomfortable wearing to work. And now, I have no issue putting on some of my old clothes. Did not everything fits. Still, I still got work to do, but at least I have some selection instead of having to come in like baggy clothes.
Okay. Now, in terms of your fitness and health, how are you feeling about it now, emotionally? That is.
Um, Emotionally, I think I'm at a better place. It has to do with the exercise. It has to do with me transitioning back to work. It has to do with a whole bunch of different things. So emotionally, I do think I'm in a better place. I do notice that when especially on weekends on a Saturday, if I can get in the morning workout, it changes my trajectory of the day completely. Just because of my energy level, my mood already to start off the day usually, makes me a lot more productive. So yeah.
That's awesome. What's one thing that surprised you that you learned during the challenge and about the challenge itself?
Um, There was actually a food thing that surprised me, and I can't remember what the detail of it was. Uh, I think there was something that I did not realize was considered protein. I don't remember. I have to go through my messages with Mark to see what it was, but I was surprised at how food was broken down, because that's, I think, one of my biggest challenges. Even if I stick to a workout routine, um, that's probably the most doable for me. That's the easiest part of it. The hardest part for me is regulating food and nutrition and making the right decisions, scheduling it properly so that I'm not overeating at any one point in time. That's always been the hardest part. So, yeah, learning a couple new things about nutrition was probably the biggest surprise.
As for the workouts themselves, what did you enjoy the most about them?
Um, Well, I enjoy the kickboxing in general. I think that's a fun way to work out. It got me sweating a lot without um me feeling like I was actually exercising, if that makes sense, because I've generally since my early 20s, I've actually enjoyed the idea of kickboxing. I've wanted to learn about it. And I like the switch in between on certain days having the hit training um versus the kickboxing because I don't always want to do weights. And sometimes I feel like the kickboxing is a treat for me. So it's like, oh, this week I've got a kickboxing session, which is a treat, which is fun. But then I also gotta make myself do the weight portion of it that I significantly see the difference and feel the difference in terms of strength when I commit to making sure I'm attending some of those classes.
Hmm.
So trying to have a balance between the two.
Now, in terms of nutrition, what are some things you learned from the nutrition plan? You mentioned the protein thing, which we'll hopefully get to investigate a bit more. But
Yeah.
what else did you learn?
Um, the portion sizes that I thought in my head are so different from reality. Uh, I also, I think, learned that it was okay to eat certain things.
Oh,
Sorry, there's a phone call coming in. Um, there was healthy ways of eating things. But also I noticed, not necessarily about the food, but I noticed how I felt after a day of having eaten, a significant amount of food, but I didn't feel sluggish. I didn't feel heavy. I didn't feel like I was like weighed down. So it was different how even just by making small changes in how I prepared the food or just replacing a couple of simple ingredients, it ended up making me feel like I wasn't hungry, but I also wasn't feeling too sluggish about it afterwards.
okay. Final question here.
Yeah.
What is something you'd say to someone who's skeptical about joining?
Um, Probably that it's either now or never. Like if you could, there's always going to be, I was that person, there's always that excuse that there's always that excuse that I'll have to get to it next time or I'm too busy now or whatever. And really even I had this conversation with my husband right before signing up. And the idea is we will always be able to find an excuse. There is always a reason at some point in our lives of why we think we can't do it. And unless we choose to actually take that first mini step, I mean, it'll never get done. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that concludes the main part of our interview.
Cool.
So hold on a sec while I end this part.